Damn.
This wing box flew off the lathe. Not just once, but twice. So in this video, we're going to look at what happened and why it happened. When bad things happen at the lathe, it pays to analyze why. I was making this video project as part of a four-ways collaboration video, and when it flew off the lathe the second time, I put those clips aside for a future bloopers reel. And only when I was editing that bloopers reel did I realize this deserved a video of its own. If you've ever had anything fly off the lathe and you're not sure why, this video is for you. Keep watching. Bear with me for less than a minute as I get you caught up. So I put the block of wood on a plate with a screw chuck, and I start shaping the bottom and including a small tenon. No problem with this. I reverse chuck it using that small tenon for the top of the box. I mark where the box opening and the rim's going to be, and I decide it's going to stick out just a little bit. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to start with a larger bowl gouge first with swept back wings, and I'm going to do a shear cut with that. Barbara Dill, noted for her multi-axis turning, which involves a lot of interrupted cuts, that is wood, air, says in her book, the tools that I use 99% of the time are the 1/2-inch spindle gouge and the 1/2-inch deep fluted bowl gouge, sharpened like a spindle roughing gouge. I'll have a link to this book if you're interested in the show notes. What tools you use is a personal preference, but you know, there are sometimes good choices and better choices. Very light touch, just to get rid of those tool marks. And that's cleaned up nicely. I can sand that that surface now. All right, now when I reverse chuck it again, I've got to figure out how I'm going to hold it. Am I going to grab it from the outside and possibly leave marks, or am I going to do it on the inside and do a recess? And it depends on the size of your chuck, what your options are. All right, when I reverse chuck it again, I'm going to use the bowl as a recess, so I need to measure the jaws I'm using, which in this case could be my 40mm jaws. And I've checked, and that's just a little bit wider than the pencil line. I think I want to take it even smaller for that that bowl thickness. I don't want it to be the part that's sticking out more than about 1/16 of an inch, or I'm sorry, about 1/8 of an inch wide. So I'm going to use a small set, I'm going to use my 1/2-inch bowl gouge and start hollowing. Now I need to be thinking about how deep I'm going. Keep that handy. It's a go, no-go gauge. Okay, so let's get a round nose scraper and come back and finish cleaning that up. Okay, I've got a round nose negative rake scraper that'll fit that profile fairly well, so let's start cleaning up the bump in the middle. We want to cut it on dead center. Okay, let's take it off. Reverse chuck it. And I'm just hoping that won't leave too many marks. Feels good. And now we're going to finish the bottom of the wings and the box. Now remember, this is a cross grain orientation similar to a bowl. So we're going to come down this way on the inside, but then as you're doing the inside of a bowl, you go from large to small. So we're going to come in here and then we'll meet down here in the middle. And I think I'm going to start with a 3/8 inch, or rather 5/8 inch bowl gouge, and then I might switch to something smaller if I need to. Let's start. First I'm going to go ahead and flatten the bottom, because I don't want the bottom to stick out more than the wings. So I've got to come down at least 1/8 of an inch, otherwise it's going to spin on the bowl, and I don't want that. Well, maybe that wasn't the best way to chuck it. Let's see. Got a little bit of chip out here. The root cause of this first failure was the shape of the opening of the box. If I had back hollowed just a little bit and made a shadow line and brought the tool further in, it would have been a much better profile for those for that recess for holding on that small 40 millimeter SC2 chuck jaws, which were a dovetail form. But I had the shape. I thought I had it parallel, but actually I didn't even quite have it parallel. It might have still been sloping, so it was not a really good fit for the jaws. And of course, I did not want to tighten too much on that hole or run the risk of leaving indentations. Okay, we're gonna grab this outer ring as a tenon, and these larger bowl jaws will be a perfect fit. Should leave minimal scarring because it's just about at the right opening with the gap. At least that's I hope it is. Just make it snug. Okay. Let's hope this is stronger than the last one. Before I get it too thin in the middle, though, I'm going to work on these wings because that's going to be a thinner part. So I'm going to leave this here, and we'll work on that later to give it strength so it doesn't flex too much on us. Damn. Well, let's think about this. So switching to a different set of jaws and grasping it on the outside looked like a good solution, and it might have been, but again I had a profile mismatch. Again, this was a dovetail fit on these particular jaws, and the shape that I was going for originally on the box was jaws that a rim here that continued this wall through the wings of the bowl and continued on that same direction, which I'm exaggerating, but it would have been more like this, which would have been a dovetail. But I got sloppy. Part of it is the reason it was using that overly large set of jaws, and as a result, I didn't have a good dovetail grip on it. You can see in this illustration between a previous similar project where I had a nice smooth flow upwards that made that bowl rim a suitable fit for a dovetail. This one not so much so. If you want to watch the original video, click on the link here. You ever had a piece flew off the lathe that it was a mystery to you why? If so, maybe leave a comment below. I appreciate all your comments. I read all of them. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make it a little easier for the algorithm to push this out to other wood turners. And remember, wear your face shield. Y'all stay safe. Come on back, you hear?